How you doing? Just smoking a cigar and thinking. Wanted to talk to you. You ever looked around and wondered, like, why is everyone so crazy sometimes? Why are people so divided sometimes? I have too. I have some ideas. Think about this for a second. I'm gonna try and make sense of this. Ancient man, our ancestors, saw in the world around them everything. They saw life. We most commonly know this with the Native Americans. They, everything had life to them, and it was like that for most of our ancient ancestors, the caveman. And then you contrast that to who we are now, and it's like because of the scientific enlightenment, because the Renaissance, we mentally are. It's not that we're alone. We look at a world of nature and of objects that can be defined or researched or reasoned out and then conquered, because that's all that's really left for us. And again, in contrast, these two humans, a modern man and an ancient ancestral Neanderthal type man, one sees a world full of life and beings and is not alone. Yeah, it might be scary and it might be a bit crazy, but they're not alone. In contrast, the modern man is, because he's stuck in a vast desert of objects, of things that can be explained away. What I'm getting at is, there's this idea in philosophy and psychology, the mass man, MASS. And essentially, you have to look at it like the Enlightenment alienated us in that way. The Industrial Revolution then took that alienation and made it sterile, and made it almost distracted with technological advancement. And so often modern man thinks that technological advancements equals moral advancement. It's not the case. Just because we're more technologically advanced does not mean we're more morally advanced. So keep that in mind when you contrast us today with our ancestors or people in the past. So there's that. The Industrial Revolution kind of sterilized our alien nation. And then on top of that, so there's the individual alienation, then there's the sterilization via the industrialization, and then there's the psychological vacuum that was created because of those things. And you're fooling yourself if you don't think that's important. What I mean by psychological, I mean like value hierarchies, things that like meaning, things like purpose, right? These are the things that add to your psychological well-being, you being happy mentally, not happy like emotionally. And I think that's a misconception. And you're kidding yourself if you don't think that political leaders are going to come out and exploit that and exploit you. And so getting back to the idea of the mass man, MASS, they're basically atomized sheep, right? So like we get made into little tiny atoms that are all part of a giant bigger whole, indiscriminate, non-individualized, very sterile, just blank atoms, and then essentially we're made sheep, constantly looking for the right shepherd to lead us. And that's where politics comes in. I talk about this all the time on my page, but like, my YouTube page, you're I don't know, man. Like you got some things to worry about if you're thinking that the right person is just going to pop up and be the right shepherd for us politically or in a leadership way, and lead us in a good way. And that's not the case. Man's involved. I've been saying this for a while now. If you can't fix the game, you got to fix the players. Who are the players? It's us, each and every one of us individually, and that's massive and that's huge. And I don't even know how you'd go about that. But I shared a quote earlier today about our rationalistic minds think that we can fix things and come up with the right type of institution, or the right type of government, or the right type of leader, or the right type of policy, or the right type of New Deal, when you don't realize that if you want lasting change that's going to actually change the face of the world, it starts with the individual. It starts with you. And that ultimately means responsibility. And so Don't be a mass man, I guess is what I'm saying. Don't be a sheep. Reach for individualization. And one way to do that is to explore the options you have. There's many options. Mythically, I talk about myth a lot on my page. It's important. We have to dive deeper into the mythologies that are there for us to. I say this in my YouTube videos. Myth was there to teach us how to act. Science is there to teach us what is. It's the world of fact. Myth and literature and art are there to teach us how to act. And the why behind things. And religion is part of that. So, I don't know, man.